Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're here to do my top 10 horror games on the Quest 2. This is a yearly list that I do for you guys on the Oculus Quest 2 and of course the Meta Quest Pro now. And we're here to talk about it. We're here to talk about horror games. I wish this video was out right before Halloween, but I kind of missed it. But this video is obviously really cool for me because I love horror games. I've always been a fan of horror movies and horror games and stuff, so this list fits right up my alley. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so the first one here coming in at number 10 is Jurassic World Aftermath. So this is for all my Jurassic Park fans, me included. This is a great suspenseful VR horror adventure. Basically, you're going around, there's two parts of the story. There's a part 1 and a part 2. Both of them have already been released. And you're going through a VR adventure, and obviously this involves dinosaurs. And what makes this a horror game and kind of scary is the fact that these dinosaurs are always trying to find you. You're hiding underneath desks, you're hiding in closets, you're hiding away from them to try to explore this world and go through the story, but these dinosaurs are obviously all around you, and you're trying to, you know, do things in the story without the dinosaurs coming at you and stuff. And it's really scary and suspenseful because you're hiding all these things and you never know if you're gonna get caught. You know, the dinosaur is literally breathing right down your neck inside of a closet, right down your neck in underneath a table. Then you're hoping not to get caught, and then when you do get caught, of course, they come running at you and try to jump at you and kill you. So it's always a great time when that happens. But this is definitely like a really hide and seek type of game. When you're trying to hide from the monsters, from the dinosaurs, which really makes it a scary game and a scary atmosphere to be in. So a really cool game, and it's a really good game in its own right. Jurassic World Aftermath Part 1 and Part 2. So the next one here coming in at number 9 is Affected the Manor, one that always is on my list because I really like this game, especially to show it off to people who really want to get scared in VR and kind of have a horror experience, because you can get through the main campaign or the main story part of the game in about 20 minutes or so. So it's really easy to put someone in it. And this is obviously your scare haunted house type adventure where you're going in, you're walking in through a haunted house, and all you're doing is getting jump scare after jump scare after jump scare, including someone chasing you there at the end. Really cool to show off to your friend, to scare them and your family and friends. Always something that a lot of my horror friends love to take a look at to see how often they get scared. And I do like that the newest update even added the fact that you can actually not play the whole story, but kind of go through like a gauntlet of seeing how long you could last without basically getting scared and being able to make it through as far as you can in that gauntlet, which is really cool and a shortened way to do it. So really cool. Affected the Manor. If you guys have not tried this one yet, you guys definitely should. As a fan of horror, a fan of haunted houses in real life, this one definitely fits the bill. Affected the Manor coming in at number 9. The next one here coming in at number 8 is Face Your Fears 2. Now, I don't know how many of you guys actually remember the original Face Your Fears on Oculus Go. I still wish they would port that over to the Quest 2 because I thought that thing was fantastic. But this is a sequel to it, and this is more of a story take where you're actually going through a few hours of a story, and the same tropes that you guys are used to, going into a cabin, dealing with spiders, all that kind of stuff that kind of scares people is in here. And what's really cool is they finally added a way to be able to play these short experiences at like 15-minute clips so you can show your family and friends. Definitely want to check out to Face Your Fears at number 8. The next one here coming in at number 7 is Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife. So this game is really cool. Essentially, the premise of this game is you basically had died in a mysterious seance and you basically became a Wraith, basically an undead. And in this horror game, you're basically using the supernatural abilities that you actually have and trying to figure out how you died. So the story is going through to show you how you died, and you're exploring this mystery mansion that you're in to try and figure out what got you here and why you actually are dead and all that kind of stuff. And it's scary as all hell. Obviously, there's creatures and all this kind of stuff that appear as you're exploring the mansion, try to threaten you and all that stuff. But the story is really cool. The experience is really cool to be able to play as a Wraith and kind of take it from the perspective of having supernatural abilities and kind of fighting them off and stuff. But the mansion itself is scary as all hell. It really puts you into I don't want to be here vibes for sure. So definitely, if you're into want to explore a mansion kind of thing and kind of have a story adventure of that kind of sorts, definitely check this one out, guys. This is highly regarded as one of the really good games in the Oculus Quest. Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife, coming in at number 7. The next one on this list coming in at number 6 is Lies Beneath. So this one sets itself apart. It's still a single-player survivor horror game, but what sets this one apart is this comic book style graphics that it has going on, which I really, really like. I love the way that the art style is in this game, and also the fact that it's a little bit more action-oriented for most horror games. You actually are wielding like ranged weapons and melee weapons and stuff, trying to fight off all these monsters. You're basically a student that goes back and tries to save her father from the sanity of all the townsfolk and all the creatures that are kind of roaming around the college and stuff like that. A really, really good game. Love the stylized art. Nothing like it, like the comic book style art in a horror game like this one. Definitely sets itself apart from all the rest, and is of course scary as all hell. So check this one out, guys. Coming in at number 6, Lies Beneath. The next one here, coming in at number 5, is Blair Witch, Oculus Quest Edition, and I don't think this game needs any introduction. A lot of us have watched Blair Witch, the movies and stuff like that, and that's where this kind of game gets its inspiration from, and man, they did a hell of a good job to recreate this game into game form from the movies. It definitely feels like you're in a Blair Witch movie when you're playing this game. Obviously, it's a story-driven psychological horror game. It's based on the lore from those movies and stuff like that. And you're basically a former police officer that has a troubled past, joining to look for a missing boy in the iconic Black Hills Forest in Maryland that we all know and love from the movies. And like I said, it is scary as all hell. You're in that forest and creepy things happen all the time. You're going back and things are happening all around you. All the weird things that you expect from a Blair Witch movie. Things dying around you. All these different noises. I wanted to get out of the forest as soon as I played this game. It took me a while to get through this game because it definitely, if you're a fan of horror, of this type of psychological horror that Blair Witch kind of portrays in their movies and you want to experience it in VR, this is definitely the game for you. Blair Witch Oculus Quest Edition coming in at number 5. The next one on this list coming in at number 4 is Project Terminus VR. So this game sets itself apart from all the other horror games we talked about because it is actually cooperative. You can actually play with 3 of your other friends going through this campaign and basically going through this post-apocalyptic Paris where you're trying to, you obviously have low supplies, you have a flashlight in front of you and stuff like that, and you're trying to survive with either yourself or going out there with 4 players. It is really scary and really fun to be able to play a scary horror game like this in VR. I want more games like this to be brought into VR where it's a horror game, but you actually can play cooperatively. There's not many like that in VR at all. This may be the only one on the Quest 2 that I believe actually has the element of being cooperative and horror based at the same time. So I would like to see more of this. They have released campaign or Act 1 and Act 2 of the campaign. They still plan on releasing Act 3, and every time that they release a new act, the price of the game goes up. So if you get in now, you get the new act for free, and I think it's well worth it. Like I said, it's because there's nothing like this where you can play a horror game with your friends on the Quest, and it's really, really fun. And they even just added a hard mode recently, so you can get even more out of the game with your friends if you want to do that as well. So Project Terminus, you guys, coming in at number 4. The next one here coming in at number 3 is the Exorcist Legion VR. So I also don't think this game needs any introduction. The Exorcist, of course, derived from the movie. And man, is it one of the scariest games in VR I have ever played. Easily tops of my list as far as like just that nature of it. Obviously it's part mystery, part you actually do some puzzle solving in this game as well, but at the end of the day it's all terror involved in this game for sure. Really, really good game. There's 5 different acts in the game that kind of connect these stories together, and you're going through the 5 different acts, and it gets scarier and scarier as time goes on. This is one of the scariest movies I've ever watched as a kid. I remember watching the movie as a kid and how scary it was when I watched it and stuff, and kind of bringing this into VR before I even started playing the game already had me at the edge of my seat because I already knew what the movie was about, and I was like, do I really want to experience this in VR right in my face? But it was really, really good, guys, and they actually have a sequel coming out to this game that is supposed to be a game that you can actually, like we just talked about, cooperative with 4 players. So I can't wait to see the sequel for this game and see where they take it with cooperative play. But this game single player is fantastic, guys, and they actually recently, a month or so ago, actually did a graphics overhaul on the game as well to make it look even better than before. So check out the Exorcist Legion VR coming in at number 3. And the next one here coming in at number 2 is Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. So this is a renowned franchise and renowned series that's been around for a really long time that has been scaring people even outside of VR for a very long time in the 2D space, and got brought into VR, and they did a fantastic job with it. It's a collection of all the classic and original mini games that were set obviously in the Five Nights universe. terrifying everybody as they've always been, and you're basically, you know, sitting in a chair looking at all these security footages, looking for this gigantic bear-looking clown thing coming at you, that you're trying to like lock the doors behind him so he doesn't get into the room, and you don't know when he's gonna come, and he comes out of nowhere. It's ridiculously scary. My wife won't even play this game. But I think a lot of you guys know about this game already just because it's been in the 2D space for so long, and I'm just here to tell you that it's even scarier in VR when these guys are just running right on top of your face, and they have done a really good job bringing this into VR. So Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted coming in at number 2. And the last one here coming in at number 1 is Resident Evil 4. The Resident Evil franchise has always been all about horror, and the fact that they brought this natively onto the Oculus Quest when this first got announced made me really excited, and they did a fantastic job bringing Resident Evil 2, one of my favorite Resident Evils of all time from back in the day, kind of bringing it into VR and giving it a whole new look and feel, and it's everything I hoped it would be. Playing the game all over again, it's scarier than it's ever been. It was scary back then in surround sound, and now that I have a headset on with everything being attached to my face and everything being close, it's as scary as it was, and all that horror stuff that you remember from when you were a kid playing this game is all still there. It's really fun to play, being chased and, you know, running away from all these creatures and stuff, and it's really, really good, guys. If you haven't played the Resident Evil game on the native Resident Evil 2 on the Oculus Quest, and you're a fan of horror, definitely check this one out, coming in at number 1. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that list of my top 10 favorite horror games on the Meta Quest Pro, Meta Quest 2, Oculus Quest Pro, whichever way you want to refer to it. And if you guys have anything that I may have missed off this list that you guys want to talk about, go ahead and leave those comments down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.